Councillor Dowding, would you like to put your question, please?
While measures to reduce costs and carbon emissions resulting from LED lighting is obviously to be welcomed, is the Cabinet member aware that some areas of the UK have deployed new energy-saving LED streetlights which have potential public health and environmental or ecological risks? And will he ensure that a full investigation of the risks and mitigating effects is explored to protect the health of Lancashire's residents and wildlife before any further rollout of LED streetlights across Lancashire?
Councillor Phillips, would you like to respond?
First of all, thank you for bringing this to our attention. It is something we have been aware of for some time, but it isn't just the introduction of LED lights. I think many people who've worked in offices and factories will understand about strip lighting and the problems that associated with that over long exposure to it. But what we've found in the research is that there is no slight undue risk at the present time. However, we will continue to monitor this. We will continue to look at the research on this. Where you've mentioned wildlife, I can actually give you an example that in Skemersdale, a footpath that we were putting in wasn't affecting the bats, but what it was doing was affecting the insects that the bats fed on. And it was the lighting systems that we were using there that we've had to adjust in order to support the local wildlife. So yes, we are aware, yes, we are maintaining our knowledge and developing that with the major researchers. As I've sent to yourself, and I'll send it out to everybody else, we are looking at the European Health and Science Committee to actually provide us with that information, because LED lights, as everybody knows, isn't just here, it's right across of Europe and right across the world. So we are monitoring this, and we will continue to monitor it, and where we can, we will carry out assessments near habitats. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Phillips. Any member?
May I just have a chance for a supplementary question, please?
You may. Yeah.
I just wanted to make really clear and ask the Cabinet member, is he clear that the issue I was raising about this is particularly associated with LED flicker, so slightly different from the issue of fluorescent lighting, and that the public health, the report that the Cabinet member has referred to, I think, was produced 3 or 4 years ago. LED flicker is at a frequency which is not visible to the eye, yet can still be perceptible to the brain. And a small but unknown proportion of the population are particularly sensitive to this flicker, and the effects are very debilitating, ranging from headaches, dizziness, eye pain to epileptic episodes. And I've brought this to Council's attention because this is affecting a resident in my division. And I just wanted to ask, is he aware that the Public Health England report, which was published only just last week, does conclude that it is concluded that flicker from LED lighting may be a risk factor for some adverse health effects in an unknown and probably small proportion of the population. But of course, if it affects you, it's very relevant. And where possible, the flicker should be no greater than would it be experienced from incandescent lamps to minimise adverse health effects. Consideration should be given to reducing the CCT of LED lighting to avoid potential adverse health effects on melatonin production in the evening. Considering that, would he be prepared to assess the existence of and the rate of flicker in current and future LED lighting so that we can take steps to protect the health of residents who are sensitive, particularly to flicker?
Councillor Phillips.
At the present time, we are able to identify, because when we get the specs on our lighting, that actually gives us the full technical details. So the flicker, I think it's normally called the resonance of the light. We do know, we are aware of, and we are tracking it. The information we have back is basically saying to us that people with this condition should follow their medical advice. And if they do, then it shouldn't have such an adverse effect on them. But where they are exposed to this, in our street lighting, the estimate is that it is at such a low level, It's similar to being out in normal lighting for a week.
Thank you, Councillor Phillips.